You're a business owner.
Check.
You have business owner's insurance.
Check.
And 10 years ago, that wouldn't have been enough. Today, small businesses are being targeted and taken down by hackers. Medical offices, consultants, CPAs, any business that's built success has everything to lose. You probably have cybersecurity installed on your computer.
Check.
But you probably don't have cyber insurance. Coverage against loss and damage if your data is compromised. Cyber Policy covers that gap. Cyberpolicy.com shops the leading cyber insurers to find you the right policy at the right price to avoid a catastrophe. Coverage against loss and damage if your data is compromised. Get a custom quote today in just 4 minutes. And for a limited time, use the promo code BLOGTALK to get Norton's small business protection for up to 5 devices. Free when you sign up for cyber insurance. Plan, prevent, insure. Visit cyberpolicy.com. That's cyberpolicy.com.
Hi, I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. I'm called the Big Game Hunter because I coach people to play their game in their career, in their job search, in their lives, in their business. I encourage people to play their game big. Now, yesterday I was watching the jobs report as it was coming in, and it had a great headline number of increasing jobs by 292,000. That is fabulous news. Now, I'm going to go through some of the numbers just to give you a perspective of the government reporting, and then my frustration with watching CNBC yesterday and the obvious, to me, miss that they had as they were talking about these numbers. So again, jobs increased by 292,000 in December, and the unemployment rate remained unchanged at 5%. Now, within that, 7.9 million people remain unemployed. And among the major worker groups, unemployment for blacks declined to 8.3% in December, while rates for adult men, 4.7%, adult women, 4.4%, teenagers, 16.1%, whites, 4.5%, Asians, 4.0%, and Hispanics, 6.3%, showed little or no change. Now, the black unemployment number is the important one to remember for later. And we'll get to that in a little bit. The civilian labor force participation rate remained little changed at 62.6%. The number of people unemployed, or a number of people employed part-time for economic reasons, which is sometimes referred to as involuntary part-time workers, was again little changed at 6.0% in December, but down 764,000 for the year. Great news. In December, 1.8 million people were marginally attached to the labor force, down 427,000 from the previous year. Again, great news. There were 663,000 discouraged workers amongst those marginally attached to the workforce, which is little change from the previous year. Non-farm payroll unemployment, again, 292,000. Unemployment rose in several industries, including professional services by 73,000 in December, temporary help services by 34,000. In 2015, professional and business services added 605,000, compared with 704 in 2014. Construction was improving in December. Trade contractors improved by 29,000 and construction of buildings by 10,000. Hang in there for these numbers. I just want to give you a context of things. Food services and drinking places. I love that category. Plus 37,000. For the year, plus 357,000. Employment in transportation and warehousing rose by 23,000 in December. Within the information industry, motion pictures, and sound recording, plus 15,000. I'm fascinated how they lumped that information industry, motion pictures, and sound recording together. Mining was down 8,000 after adding 41,000 in 2014. Manufacturing, mining probably includes oil refining. Um, so farm payrolls were basically unchanged at 34.5 hours in December. And the manufacturing work week also turned down by 0.1 hours to 40.6. Now, as I was watching the talking heads yesterday on CNBC, I became increasingly frustrated as I was watching them because they couldn't understand why, you know, wages hadn't improved and the unemployment numbers hadn't really improved. But the big thing was about wages. And they kept saying, we got more people working, more people entering the workforce, more. Why aren't wages going up? Now, there are two basic reasons for it. One is less obvious than the other. And the less obvious reason is the access to data that firms have about what others pay for comparable salaries. And I want to be clear, I'm not talking collusion here. Really, I'm not talking about collusion, but firms have an idea of what other firms in their field, in their market pay, and they're trying to hold the prices to comparable levels. No firm is trying to go outside the boundary. The other thing is a lot of temporary jobs created. I'm not talking about the ones with temporary agencies, but even in the warehousing space, a lot of jobs created there, and those will tend to be annually related to Christmas. So I'll give you an example. I haven't looked at this year's numbers for it, but last year, UPS starts hiring helpers. About 50,000 of them, they start hiring in October. FedEx does the same thing. All these firms that deliver presents to people for the online retailers add people. And what we would expect to see with the January report is that January also has a downward bias to it. We'll see how much of a downward bias this year because they may revise the way they interpret numbers. But whereas most months there's an addition to the number of jobs, January is a month where they have a bias toward decreasing the number of jobs that they report. And they do it, and it's a pretty logical reason, because they think businesses go out and stores close after Christmas. Maybe not to the degree to which they compute these days, but that's the bias that they have. So they determine that there are a certain number of jobs that are lost by small businesses they can't prove exist, that laid off people they can't prove were fired. So January is going to be the one that everyone's going to go, oh my God, we had 292,000 jobs last month. And this month, so few. It will probably disappoint. So the talking heads frustrated me for the simple reason that this seasonal worker stuff happens every year, and they always seem to forget all the jobs related to Christmas and how they all tend to disappear during January. So great report, bad interpretation, and I hope you found this helpful. I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. My website is thebiggamehunter.us. There's a ton of information there that you can watch, listen to, or read to help you find work more quickly. And if we aren't connected on LinkedIn, send a connection request to me at linkedin.com/IN/the-big-game-hunter. Now, last thing I just want to say is most people I run into are doing a lot of things wrong related to their search. They spam resumes to the Western Hemisphere is one thing. They don't do an adequate job of networking. Their resumes have mistakes in them. I'm not talking about spelling errors, but they're badly constructed resumes and cover letters. On and on through the salary negotiation to the onboard. There's just lots of things that people could be doing better, and they don't spend enough time preparing. So instead of going it alone, instead of following the advice of the recruiter who you're working with, who basically is in the business of filling jobs for the employer that's paying them a lot of money to do that, I'd like to suggest reaching out to me for coaching. Think of me as like your agent. In real estate, they're always very clear that there's a buyer agent and there's a seller agent. And in recruiting, everyone that you work with is a buyer's agent. They're representing the employer because that's who's paying them. Get yourself a seller's agent. Contact me through my website, and let's spend some time speaking. I'd love to coach you through the job search. Hope you have a great day. Take care.
Right now at Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory, save 50 to 70% off everything in stores and online. That's right, 50 to 70% off everything. Celebrate the 4th with dresses from $19.99 at Banana Republic Factory. And at Gap Factory stores, tees start at $4.99. Plus, save an extra 40% off clearance. Sale ends Tuesday. Search our store locator for your nearest Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory store, or shop us online. Right now at Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory, save 50 to 70% off everything in stores and online. That's right, 50 to 70% off everything. Celebrate the 4th with dresses from $19.99 at Banana Republic Factory. And at Gap Factory stores, tees start at $4.99. Plus, save an extra 40% off clearance. Sale ends Tuesday. Search our store locator for your nearest Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory store, or shop us online.